This is interesting. It is the coldest night of the season in Central Florida. Arrives with chance of frost freeze. Chance of, you're gonna say? It's been totally below freezing. Here's where we warm up. Orlando, Florida. The sunshine state finally lived up to its name Friday afternoon. While temperatures stayed chill for yet. Oh, look at this storm. Yeah, a girl in the chat on the Juan, shout out the Juan on Juan podcast. Today she said she's over in the UK, and I don't think they're used to getting as tic-tac-toed with trails in the sky as we are. But she said they're having hurricanes and stuff over there like nobody's business. And the one we have here right now is Enzo. And I do think it's going to snow here in Florida. I do. It hasn't snowed down here where I'm at since 77, but it has. So this storm Ewan is what she was talking about. Slamming Ireland in the UK is a likely danger to life, according to official.
Storm Eowyn slamming Ireland and UK is a likely danger to life, according to official. Published by ABC News. Officials expect rain, snow and winds of up to 100 miles per hour or more. A massive storm is battering parts of the UK and Ireland today, bringing devastating winds, heavy rain and snow, according to the Met Office.
Briefly, I do remember, like, at the end of our hurricane season, it's saying that there was going to be a storm, and I got all nervous. And I looked, and it was enough to make you nervous if you had already just been through the two biggest storms ever. We were due for that, whatever, supposedly due for the 100 storm. It had been 100 years, 1925 or 26 or whatever. So we were due for that, and we had it. But then 12 days later, whatever, we had Milton right after Helene, which I think also took away from the people of Western North Carolina. Milton coming through and effing up Florida just like the wildfire fires are doing now. Okay.
The United Kingdom's National Weather and Climate Service.
Oh, and I wondered then if Ireland got hurricanes on the regular, and they don't. Now they're calling them cyclones down here, but anyway.
This is probably going to be the most consequential windstorm for most people across the island of Ireland and across the UK in their lived experience, Peter Thorne, a climate change professor at Maynooth University in Ireland, told ABC News. Red warnings for high winds have been issued for Northern Ireland along with central and southwestern areas of Scotland. The storm, named Eowyn, will also impact northern England, southern England and Wales, according to officials. We reserve the issuing of red warnings for the most severe weather, which represents a likely danger to life and severe disruption, according to Met Office Chief Meteorologist Paul Gunderson. Storm Eowyn is a multi-hazard event, with snow likely for some, rain for many and strong winds for
They're literally wrecking everywhere.
Much of the UK, Gunderson added. As a result, a number of weather warnings have been issued, with all parts of the UK covered by one warning at some point on Friday.
Jeez Louise.
Wind gusts in excess of 90 miles per hour were recorded in Northern Ireland and parts of Wales early Friday as the storm approached, with record peak gusts of 114 miles per hour recorded in Macehead, on the west central Irish coast, according to the Met Office. More, historic snowstorm hitting the south from Texas to Florida. The initial forecast was for heavy rain and winds starting early Friday morning in southwestern parts of the UK, according to the Met Office, traveling northeast across the rest of the country. Along with destructive winds, the storm will bring snow to northern England, Northern Ireland and Scotland, but will quickly transition back to rain, the Met Service said. In Ireland and Scotland, wind gusts were expected to reach up to 80 to 90 miles per hour, and potentially up to 100 miles per hour for exposed coastal areas, according to Gunderson. I've never seen a red warning cover the entirety of the island, Thorne told ABC News. Thorne said that the cold weather system from the US is what's making Eowyn a major storm. At the same time as the cold weather, you have a North Atlantic that is near a time of year record warmth, Thorne said.
It's that Gulf
That huge
Stream.
temperature gradient is kicking off a very active jet stream. This particular storm is hitching a ride on the jet stream that supercharges it. Thorne told ABC News he expects 500,000 to 1 million properties or businesses will be without power
Well, I
after
was
this
gonna
storm.
say- oh my God.
It's important to note that even those away from the immediate red warning areas will
There's a
still
lot of
likely see disruptive weather,
people
with
with
travel
sheep.
plans likely to be severely impacted, as well as the possibility of power cuts for
Like
some, according to
gypsies.
Gunderson. The Met Service also notes that although the snow is unlikely to last long, it will change to rain, which in turn could cause surface water flooding in some places. The weather event will likely cause significant challenges and disruption to travel.
And they've obviously got rain that expands. It's just my opinion, but I sat outside through Milton, which maybe was not that smart because, yeah, anyway. And after Milton, the amount of water that was there from like what I actually saw fall down from the sky was two different things. And I remember even saying like, what, do they got water now that like expands and gets bigger? But like that maybe that's not that far off to think that.
According to the Met Office, which advises motorists to visit the UK's National Highways website for hazardous weather travel safety tips. After Eowyn barrels through on Friday and early Saturday, a series of additional storms are expected to arrive in northwest Europe, bringing more wet and windy weather on Sunday and continuing into the beginning of next week, according to the Met Office.
So the oceans are just going to be rocking, is the gist of that. Yeah. I mean, that's like a hurricane level 1, isn't it? 90? What are they issued? I'm glad they traded them. Wind in excess of 90 miles per hour in parts of Wales early Friday as the storm approached recorded 114 miles per hour. That's definitely hurricane style winds. And it is not a very big. There's your Bristol life are in place for Northern Ireland and the central and southwestern areas of Scotland. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Because how big is their island? Pause. Did you know that Scotland and Ireland and the UK are getting battered by hurricanes right now? They don't get them much. So wait, that is not very big is what I'm getting at. Like, it looks like Scotland's just like that big. That's like something, then that's like something. And then like, that's like something. And I'm being like generous, I think. I could be wrong. But I don't think so. Yeah, it's not even, I would say, as big as Florida. The width of Scotland and the United Kingdom, and I'm gonna guess Wales is maybe in the middle. And so France is getting some bans too, but Ireland is on the outside. Okay, play. Yeah, that's not very wide. Like the United Kingdom is wider than Florida maybe, but the rest of it, not so much. That is, I can't, I wish I could zoom in, because Either way, that's Ireland. And then Scotland up there. Ireland's gonna break it for the UK, I would say. Let's hope so. I didn't expect to see this. 1 dead and nearly 1 million without power. Jeez Louise.
Hello there, good evening. Erwin has been a particularly powerful and damaging storm with gusts of wind of 80, 90, even 100 miles an hour for a few spots. And some huge waves for some of these western coasts, even away from the red warning areas. Now, the highest level of alert, the red warnings issued by the Met Office have now expired, but there are still second-tier amber alerts in force, and still some dangerously strong gusty winds, particularly on the southern flank of our deep area of low pressure. The storm, as it continues to push further northwards and eastwards for the rest of the night. Now, these are the amber warning areas. This one towards the south still covers Northern Ireland, Northern England, North Wales. It's valid until 9 o'clock this evening, but this one further north that stretches all the way up to Shetland is valid until 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. So widespread gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And across the coast and hills, there could be gusts in excess of 80 to 90 miles an hour. Still,
there's not normally
there'll still be
one.
blizzard-like conditions too across many parts of Scotland over the higher ground as we head through the rest of tonight. A few wintry showers for Northern Ireland, but generally clear.
Thank you. Okay, Belfast, Glasgow, Store, Norway. It's like we sent our stuff up there. Lerwick, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Newcastle. Every place is named the same, dude. Hull, Norwich, London, Birmingham, Cardiff. I mean, every place is named all around the world the same song.
Through the afternoon on Sunday, and that's going to bring some very heavy rain and some more strong gusty winds, but the winds won't be as bad as they have been today. And I think for many northern and eastern areas on Sunday of the UK, then it should stay largely dry. Some of this rain could be heavy and it could possibly cause some localised flooding. The winds will start to pick up again towards these Irish Sea coasts, and there could be gusts of wind of 60 to 70 miles an hour, perhaps, for some Irish Sea coasts on Sunday night into Monday. It will turn calmer, more settled later on through the week. Bye-bye.
Matter of fact, Nate, they're on a red watch, which means it's like a death type thing. They call it a red watch, but this was today, 7 hours ago. 1 person has died in Ireland and hundreds of thousands. No, 100. Maybe save it for me. 1 person has died in Ireland and hundreds of thousands of homes are without power in the UK. They are just in the UK. Period. As Storm Eowyn brought record-breaking wind gusts. The man died when a tree fell on his car in County Donegal, Gardaí, Irish police said. Ireland saw its strongest gust ever recorded, leading to 725,000 properties without power and around 138,000 people without water. What the flip? Across the UK, millions of people were urged to stay at home as gusts of 100 miles per hour were recorded on Friday. 1 in 5 flights were cancelled and all trains halted in Scotland. Every school in Northern Ireland was closed as the storm damaged buildings and tore down trees. An amber wind warning remains in place for parts of Scotland. The strongest winds had passed by Friday evening, but the storm was still expected to bring gusts of more than 80 miles per hour across the coast and hills of Scotland and Northern Ireland. 2 red warnings were in force earlier on Friday in Northern Ireland and parts of Scotland. Red is the most serious weather warning the Met Office can issue, meaning dangerous weather is expected and people are urged to take action to keep safe. Yet they told them all to stay home. There are also yellow warnings for wind, rain, snow, and ice across the UK over the next few days. Northern Ireland was in the eye of the storm. Imagine that. With a real threat to life and property. First Minister Michelle O'Neill had said the storm brought the strongest wind gusts in 27 years there. The number of properties without power fell slightly to 250,000, NIE Network said, but it could take up to 10 days for everywhere to be reconnected. Scotland's First Minister John Sweeney called the storm an exceptional weather event and said a high level of vigilance is still required. Around 117,000 homes and businesses are without power in Scotland. So that one first number was just England. And then we just did, I think, Ireland, and now we're at Scotland. And roughly 1,200 more in Wales, according to Energy Networks. Thousands of homes were also without power in England across Northumberland County, Durham, Tyne, and Ware, and Cumbria. There was severe disruption at airports, with some affecting 150,000 flyers. Dublin, Edinburgh, Heathrow, and Glasgow were the worst affected airports, it added. A Ryanair flight that left Stansted Airport in Essex for Edinburgh reached the skies above the Scottish capital, but was unable to land and flew back to Stansted. Hundreds of thousands lose power in Scotland. Life-threatening storm in Northern Ireland. 93-mile-per-hour wind gust hits Wales. Oh my. Rubble from a partially collapsed wall of a building, and they're like literally wrecking everything. Bus and train services were suspended in Northern Ireland, while supermarket chain Tesco said all its stores are closed and home deliveries canceled. Ferry operators had to cancel numerous crossings. Glasgow and Edinburgh closed all their schools. Around 30 schools were shut across Northumberland, 7 in Cumberland, and 50 in Wales. The UK's top wind gust speed of 100 was recorded at Drummelbin in South Lancashire in Scotland. In Ireland, a gust of 114 was recorded at Macehead in County Galway. This makes it the strongest recorded gust of wind in the country. Ireland's weather service, Met Iran, had issued severe red weather warnings, with BBC Weather saying it could be Ireland's storm of the century. Well, what do you know? They're saying that here fucking too. Twice. They just did it for the hurricane. That was the storm of the century, and then another storm of the century, and then this Enzo is the storm of the fucking century. And so is this one here. Around 138, there's that number again, 1,000 people across the country had no water on Friday evening, with the supplies of another 750,000. It's almost 1 million fucking people at risk.
Is that the strawberry banana?
I don't know, but that one's about to die, so it must be. The Electricity Supply Board said there was unprecedented, widespread, and extensive damage to electricity infrastructure, and it will take a significant number of days to restore power.
Wow.
The GAA's Connacht GAA's Air Dome, an indoor playing facility in County Mayo in Ireland, was destroyed. It's like a stadium, as winds ripped through the facility. Extreme weather. Jake Kelly from Network Rail said no trains were running in the whole of Scotland, not one, as well as north of Preston on the West Coast Main Line in England, and north of Newcastle on the East Coast Main Line on Friday. Quote, we expect a large amount of debris to be flying around and potentially trees to fall over. Quote, it's always a very, very, very difficult decision to close the railway, but in the face of this very extreme weather, ultimately we had no choice. ScotRail said customers should not expect any trains to run before 12 on Saturday. 9 UK warnings are in place. Amber warning for wind across parts of Scotland from 1300 on Friday to 6 on Saturday. Yellow warning for wind across most of the country from midnight until 2359. Ain't that my bird time? 253, yeah. 2359. Yellow warning for snow in parts of Scotland from 6 until 2359. Yellow warning. Watch out for that yellow snow. Ice, Northern Ireland, 19 to 10. Yellow warning for wind in parts of Scotland from midnight until yellow warning for snow and ice. Scotland. Yellow warning for ice for Midlands, East and Southeast England, and Wales. Yellow warning for rain from this is a lot. Storm Ewan, pronounced A-O-Win. It's pronounced A-O-Win. Oh, well, thank you. has been caused by powerful jet stream winds pushing low pressure towards the UK and Ireland over the Atlantic Ocean after a recent cold spell over North America. So it's our fault, they're saying here. It's crazy. While crossing the Atlantic storm, Aowen underwent a process known as explosive cyclogenesis, sometimes called a weather bomb. Like, these are new words to me. It went through an explosive cyclogenesis. Okay? What? Also known as a bomb cyclone, is a meteorological phenomenon. What's the definition of phenomenon, please? Isn't it something that fucking happens? When definition of phenomenon.
Here's the definition of phenomenon. A fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially one whose cause or explanation is in question.
In fact, okay, alright. Glaciers are unique and interesting natural phenomenon. An occurrence, a remarkable person, thing, or event that becomes a pop phenomenon just for whatever. What is phenomenon? Simple words. Is an extraordinary occurrence of circumstance. In the 1950s, rock and roll was considered a new cultural phenomenon, while today we think of crop circles as a mysterious phenomenon. Like many words with Greek roots, phenomenon started out as a science term. Alright, that's almost time to remove that. Crap, how do I get back? How do I get back there to the place where I fell and sleep inside you? How do I get myself back to the place where you said I want something else to get me through this? Explosive cyclogenesis is a rapid deepening of an area of low pressure in the atmosphere. It's also known as bombogenesis, a weather bomb or a bomb cyclone, what causes the dry air from the stratosphere which flows into an area of low pressure. The air in the low pressure area rises quickly and rotates more. What are the effects? The pressure deepens, creating a more powerful storm. A storm can produce high winds, heavy precipitation, and coastal flooding. When does it happen? The most common in the winter, but it can occur in other seasons, and it can occur in maritime. You think? It can occur in maritime and continental settings, so anywhere. It's often associated with winter storms. Where does it happen? Frequently, it occurs in the Northwest Pacific, the North Atlantic, which is where? There. Southwest Pacific. What's the name of the storm? The storm created by explosiveness. Okay. So, when did they happen? Okay, rapid deepening of an extratropical cyclone's low pressure area. The change of pressure need to classify something as explosive is latitude dependent. For example, at 60 degrees latitude, explosive cyclogenesis occurs if the central pressure decreases by 24 millibars or more in 24 hours. This is a predominantly maritime winter event, but occurs in continental settings. This process is the extratropical equivalent of the tropical rapid deepening, although their cyclogenesis is entirely different from that of tropical cyclones. What the heck? Bomb cyclones can produce winds of 95 miles per hour, the same order as the first category of the Saffir-Simpson scale. and yield heavy precipitation. Even though only a minority of bomb cyclones become as strong, some weaker ones can also cause significant damage. Okay, the Briar Storm of 93 was the most intense extratropical cyclone ever recorded, so it was called of the northern Atlantic, developing as a weak frontal wave on January 8, 1993. The system moved rapidly northeast. The combination with Andrew in 92 of a second low pressure area to its southeast was stronger than normal sea surface temperature differential along its path, and the presence of a strong jet stream aloft led to a rapid strengthening of the storm at the central pressure, falling to an estimated. Its strength was well predicted by forecasters in the United Kingdom. Warnings were issued before the low initially developed, the Briar Storm. Okay. Formed January 8th, dissipated on the 17th. Greenland, Iceland, Western Europe. Is that where it normally is? Then we got part of the 92-93 European windstorm season. Baroclinic instabilities inside is one of the principal mechanisms for the development. What the fuck is that? In fluid dynamics, physics, physical chemistry, and engineering, fluid dynamics is a sub-discipline of fluid mechanics. It describes the flow of fluids, liquids, and gases. It has several sub-disciplines, including aerodynamics, the study of air and other gas. I'm telling you, all the elements are interchangeable, and if you look at the word ether, you have all of them in there: heat, air, earth, and W was like the last letter to even be added to language, which language you can't really trust. So water, boom. Fluid dynamics has a wide range, including calculating forces and moments on aircraft, determining the mass flow rate of petroleum through pipelines, predicting weather patterns, understanding nebulae in interstellar space, and modeling, I want to say fusion, but it says fission weapon detonation. Computer-generated animation of fluid in a tube flowing past a cylinder, showing the shedding of a series of vortexes in the flow behind it, called the von Karman vortex street. The fuck? Okay. The streamlines show the direction of the fluid flow, but now it's going the other way, and the color gradient shows the pressure at each point from blue to green, yellow, and red, indicating increasing pressure. Typical aerodynamic teardrop shape, assuming a viscous medium passing from left to right. The diagram shows the pressure distribution as the thickness of the black line shows the velocity, and the boundary layer as the violet triangles. The green vortex generators prompt the transition to... Okay. Just weird. Weather tonight in Tampa.
Saturday night's forecast for Tampa is 51 degrees and clear with periodic clouds.
It's going to be clear. Jeez, look at that though. It's 12:04. It says feels like 39. But what's at 1%? Not the moon. Rain. Cloud cover only 5. Can we see it by any other hour? Cloud cover 4. So it should be like the granularity of... I don't like the granularity that I felt in the rain. 0 cloud cover. Ooh, so I'll have to film. Okay. What to see in the sky tonight? Earth sky. That hasn't happened yet, correct?
Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Bird, and you are watching Earth Sky. Will there be a planetary alignment on January 25th, 2025? I'm here with my fellow OG stargazer, John Goss, also of Earth Sky. Hey, John.
Hey there.
John and I each have about 50 years of stargazing under our belts. So that's a combined...
More than 50. So
more than 50 for John. That's a combined 100 years of stargazing experience here. So we're here to tell you what you can see in the night sky. But John, first of all, what's with all these memes and videos about January 25th?
So yes, memes and videos are going around on social media suggesting that the planets will all line up on January 25th. But will they? No. no, they won't.
No.
As for January 25th, we don't know why that date has been chosen for this. Maybe somebody out there can tell us, because we don't know. We just have seen some of these videos.
Okay.
No. But we do know that January, the whole month of January, just not the 25th, but the whole month, is a great time to see the planets. There are 4 bright planets in the evening sky.
That's right. And we're going to show those to you, plus 3 wonderful planet events this month in just a second. But before we get to those, John, why are we saying that we're saying that you can only see 4 planets in the evening sky, but other places are saying, 6 planets or 7 planets or 8 planets.
Yeah,
so
4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, yeah.
Yeah, so what's the deal on that?
Okay, while it's true that there are 6 planets in the January evening sky, 4 of them are fairly bright, but 2 of them are not. Uranus is up there, but it requires binoculars to see, and a nice chart so you know which spot in the sky it is. But Neptune requires a telescope, so you really aren't going to see that with the unaided eye. 4 you can easily. Uranus, nah. Neptune, no. So,
okay, so here are the 4 that you can see.
You bet. You have, of course, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. And as I said, all month they will be visible in the evening sky. And what I mean by evening sky, like let's say 90 minutes after sunset. The sky is fully dark, and you'll be able to see these. And again, we really don't know why all these memes talk about January 25th. But these 4 you can see tonight and any night, and you get a nice breathtaking view of the sky and what's up there. It's pretty cool. On their chart, you also see that there's a green line going across it, kind of connecting up these 4 planets. That's a very special line in the sky. I'll say it's an imaginary line, but in a way it's really real because it represents the sun's path across the sky, or another way of putting it is the plane of the solar system. And since we have all these planets, they're part of our solar system, they lie in that plane, so they should lie on this line. And of course they do. A little bit above it or a little bit below it, but pretty darn close to it.
That's right. And so what about this misinformation? Because so we can see 4 planets. We can't see Uranus and Neptune because they usually require optical aid. Neptune always optical aid, and Uranus usually optical aid. But then what about Mercury?
Well, it depends.
Mercury is up there as well, but in January, Mercury lies almost on the far side of the sun. And it appears in our morning sky. It's not in our evening sky at all in January, but it appears on the far side of the sun, or towards the far side of the sun right now. In fact, on February 9th, it's on the other side of the sun from us. So you aren't going to see it. So it's not in our evening sky.
But it is.
Okay, so these are the 4 planets you can see in the evening sky. So Venus, west after sunset. Saturn is just above it. Jupiter, very bright, second brightest planet next to Venus. And then Mars, which is also very bright now, and
Very
red
bright.
in color. So just for grins, let's see where the planets actually really are in orbit around the sun. So
Okay,
what's the deal with these charts?
This is assuming that you had some magical spaceship and you're flying high above the sun. quite far above the sun. You look down, and you're not looking into the plane. You're looking kind of perpendicular into it. So on the left-hand side, we have what we call the inner solar system, which are planets that from Mercury to Mars.
Right,
And you can see where they are right now, where the Earth is. And
I hear they
on
look
this,
like
yes,
crescents.
Mercury is kind of on the far side of the sun. Not quite yet. But these 4 planets aren't really in a row. I mean, they're kind of a zigzag, so yeah, a little bit.
So
But the
Neptune
outer
and
solar
Saturn
system, which are the
on
planets
top of each
beyond
other,
Mars,
so is Venus.
quite a bit bigger area, really,
We just
in
can't
the solar
see it.
system. You do have Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and
Jupiter
Neptune.
Uranus
And as you can see,
in
they are
conjunct.
no way are they in alignment at all.
What do you
No,
mean?
they're not even close.
No. So this January 25th thing,
I'd
I don't know,
have to look.
any
How
date,
y'all-
they're not going to be like this, as you can see. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's
like
going on.
we are truly perplexed as to
all
why
I'm saying
people
is-
are saying that there's going to be this January 25th alignment.
January
Because
in
as you can see,
general.
there's like no alignment that's going on January
there's a
25th. So we don't know what it's about. We
These
think
two
it
are
might be
conjunct.
astrological. So we do astronomy,
Those
which is
two,
different from
which
astrology.
you say
And hey,
Neptune.
more power to the astrology folks.
Yeah.
And
Too.
maybe
If you
there's
ask
some
me-
out there that can explain it to us. But
If you ask me
but
a
in the
question about
real
astrology, and my answer will always be, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know about it because it's
Yes,
different
look,
from what we
those
do.
are conjunct,
But what we do know is that
and
this is
this
the
is
real
conjunct.
solar system and the real sky
Yeah,
that
no
we're talking
shit,
about
so
here.
am I.
So this is what's really going on is that on January 25th,
Well, look,
these
they're
planets
within-
are not lining up.
You got a triple
So,
conjunction, don't you?
John,
Holy
is it
fucking
ever
fuck.
possible to see the planets lined up one after
my
another?
God.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about some of the great sky events that are coming up in January.
Yep. Just a few days from now, we're going to have the moon and Jupiter be pretty close together. And that'll be
And that's
a
what
nice,
this picture is, right? This is a picture of the moon and Jupiter.
but taken from some time ago during another.
Yeah.
As you can see, there is a volcano there. Pretty cool spot, pretty cool place to get astrophotography or just sky photography, the moon and Jupiter or whatever up there. It looks pretty cool.
And so when are the moon and Jupiter going to be close again?
Well, January 10th, and then it'll happen again in February, but I'm guessing the date will be around February 11th. I'm guessing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'll hear more about
So
that.
January, good time to look for the moon and Jupiter. Jupiter is the second brightest planet, and it's the usually fourth, sometimes fifth brightest object in the sky. And so you can see from this picture that when Jupiter and the moon are close together, they're really obvious in the sky. So be sure and look for that around January
in the southwest corner of the winter circle. Next, draw a line through Orion's belt stars upward to find Aldebaran, the ruddy eye of Taurus the Bull. Continue upward to Capella. Imagine a circle of stars so large that it spans about 1/3 of the dome of the sky, from Sirius to the south and Capella in the north. It's called the winter circle or winter hexagon, a massive group of bright stars that dominates the winter evening sky in the northern hemisphere. As you can see, it's made up of some of the brightest stars in the night sky. To find the winter circle, start with the easily recognizable constellation of Orion the Hunter, marked by its easy-to-spot 3 bright stars in a row. They are known as Orion's belt. Look for Rigel, the bright bluish star at Orion's lower right, marking the southwest corner of the winter circle. Next, draw a line through Orion's belt stars upward to find.
Alright, so we got Sirius, Beetlejuice, that's his belt, I'm guessing. I don't know. Castor and Pollux, so Mars should be somewhere right there. And crap. So So Jupiter is right next to this one, Aldebaran, and the Pleiades has been able to see next draw line to Orion's belt stars upward to find Aldebaran, or just look to Jupiter and the one right next to it, but okay, we'll do that. So draw a line to upward to Aldebaran. Okay, go ahead. There's Capella.
To find Aldebaran, the ruddy eye of Taurus the Bull. Continue upward to Capella in Auriga the Charioteer, the northernmost point of the winter circle. As you move counterclockwise, you'll encounter Pollux and Gemini the twins with its companion Castor nearby. Below the twins, you'll find Procyon and Canis Minor, the lesser dog, shining brilliantly in the night sky.
Pretty bright.
Finally come down to the southernmost star, Sirius, and Canis Major, the greater dog, the brightest star in the entire night sky. Plus, in 2025, the planets Jupiter and Mars will lie near the winter hexagon.
Yeah, they sure will.
Once you've found the winter circle, look inside it to discover another pattern of stars called the winter triangle. It's formed by the three bright stars Sirius, Procyon, and Betelgeuse.
Nice.
On a dark, clear night, you can see the Milky Way meandering through the center of the winter circle, adding to its beauty. The winter hexagon is visible by 7 p.m. in late January and high above the southern horizon by midnight. By early March, the winter circle graces the southern sky at nightfall. Hi, this is Marcy with Earth Sky. Let's take a tour of some of the bright objects in the January evening sky.
All right, you better hurry.
This is an actual shot from an all-sky camera that shows approximately what you'll see in the January evening sky. This is from mid-northern latitudes, about 8 p.m. in mid-January, 7 p.m. late January. And of course, things will vary by your location and time of night, but it will give you an idea of what to see. Those of you who
You done cut me off. Well, that was...
Stay beyond this world.
No. So they're saying we do astronomy. Okay, have a good one.